YouTube, Hillbilly F100 here again. I don't know if I'm gonna run this as another like a part 2 or part whatever, another part of this swap, or if I'm gonna go ahead and just run this all together into one video until I reach 10 or 15 minutes. I don't want to make these videos too long because yeah, I don't know. I don't want to bore people because there's going to be maybe some downtime here and there. But one of my goals, and I think I'm doing it so far, is I want to be very real in the way that I present all this. In other words, I don't want to make it seem like, you know, I do all the, or you know, I could tear the whole suspension down in a week, or I'm sorry, in a night, because that's not realistic. I work full time during the day. I work part time at night. So I kind of want to do it in a way that shows everybody, okay, this is, you know, this is how much I'm working on it, and these are the hours that I'm working on it, or the time that I'm working on it, and kind of go from there. So with that said, I cut the coil out, which you saw in the last part of the video. I started cutting the top section of the shock out. The reason I stopped is I hate to say this, but I've got a small little hobby. In fact, it's right there. I don't know if y'all can see it very much. Real small, and they don't last nowhere near as long as what I thought they did. Growing up, I always used my dad's big cutting torch rig, you know, cutting torches in blue, the big tanks. But you know, I'm doing this on a budget. You know, I've got a family, and I don't have all the money in the world, so I can't go out and spend the several $100s even just to rent the tanks right now. I'm trying to build this truck with little to no money coming out of my family's, you know, budget, or out of my family's pockets. So I'm having to kind of be a little bit more creative in the way of, okay, what am I going to cut with my Sawzall, and what am I going to cut with the torch? So a little interesting. I mean, I know I've got to cut like the rivets, you know, I'm going to have to cut those heads off with the torch. You know, I could probably cut this mount off when the time comes with a Sawzall. To the same extent, you know, there's rivets in behind for your spring perch. I'll probably end up having to cut those with the torch, but I don't know. What I'm going to try to do tonight is get the bolts in the steering column, get it ready to come out, or not the column, but the steering gearbox. Maybe even go ahead and take the linkage off there. I don't know if I'm going to take it apart or just let it flop down. And then, you know, of course, there got the radius arms. I didn't do the other spring yet. I'll probably wait and do that tomorrow. It depends on how eager I get tonight and how easily these bolts come off. You know, working on these old trucks, sometimes these bolts are stubborn and they got to soak, and then there's times where they just pop right off. So if by chance I get it to where they just come right off, then I'll keep driving on. But I mean, it's already close to 10 o'clock out here tonight. This is really the first chance. I'm in, you know, North Texas, and it was probably close to 100 degrees outside today, so I had to wait for it to cool down a little bit. It was like a sauna in here, and so I had the door open after I got home off of work. So the garage door's been open since 6, and this is the first chance that I've had to come out here. So definitely a honest representation of doing one of these swaps. So let me get to it. Alright, tubers, back at it. I had to get a power cord to charge this thing up. As you can see from the top looking down, you can pretty much tell why it was that stinking thing didn't come off there. So it's a little things like that it's, you know, it's going to take me a little bit to get out. I got to take my rag joint off of my steering. my column. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if it's going to come off of that rag joint or if it's going to come off right behind it, right there. Either one, either way. Preferably just take the rag joint off, but we'll see. This column goes up there. I don't know. Looks like I may have several options, but just standing here talking about it ain't gonna do any of those good. So let me get going. all intents and purposes, that is disconnected. Not sure if everyone can see it or not. Basically, this coupler right there is 100% disconnected. Now when the whole thing comes sliding down, so that'll stay. Okay, now the bolts that hold the gearbox, looks like it unbolts from the outside of the frame. So hang on and we'll get to that.